it'll take you away from that page.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. So we should be live now. That's what we should be live. Okay. Can you talk to me? Like we should be
Check.
live. Check one, two.
1, 2. Check.
Okay.
1,
So
2.
you should be live. Okay, we should all be live. Everyone should be live. Everyone should be happy. And here we are with Tech Something. Welcome back to another episode, guys. I hope you have been staying safe and you haven't been losing quality control up here. So
I just got hit by an ad. Sorry, I just got hit by an ad on your live stream.
Okay, cool. Well, chat, yeah. So, chat is popping. I am joined here by longtime friend, Darth Jar Jar, and Greg Salazar. Greg Yesazar.
Yo. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
still looking at your live stream. It's
Okay.
like super delayed.
Yeah. So
It's
basically,
different.
when we start off these live streams, guys, I'm live streaming. I got to make sure everything's right. So it takes a little bit of time to make sure it's all right. Once we know it's all right, audio's coming in fine from Greg, myself. Once we know all this is good, then we can start streaming for you guys, because we got a pretty hot live stream here today. We've got Ryzen 3 3100 and 3300X news. This is what it's all about. So we'll get straight into these topics, because then we'll go to chat and we'll chat with the viewers about the whole situation right now, because things are getting so weird everywhere in the world. I think it's not just like over in the US. You can tell me about what's going on, but in Australia here, everything's closing down. Like we're talking used parts supply lines, new parts supply lines. And I mean, I checked prices of new PCs right now, and you know how much it costs to get from a retailer an RX 574 gigabyte machine. Do you know how much it costs?
In Aussie dollars or US?
Yeah, Aussie dollars. Take a guess.
I don't even know what your conversion rate
Okay,
is.
so it's about 64 cents. So like, yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
What is $100 in the ballpark?
no. So like, I'm talking about
Like for the car?
a whole system
Oh, the
with an
whole
RX
system.
570 as the main graphics card. Like that's the main centerpiece of this whole rig.
Oh man, I have no idea.
So retailers are charging around 1,500 Aussie dollars for an RX 570 rig right now, and it's like
What
what?
CPU? What platform are they using?
It'd be like Ryzen 2600, I think. Like
Better
it's
be like HEDT, like 18 core to make sense for
it's
that to make
it's
sense.
just like prices are, and you can't blame them, man. Everyone's running out of stock. Like prices are just going through the roof right now. And oh man, I would talk about like I know another guy on the coast here. He literally sold a potato for like 750 Aussie dollars, and I was like, "What? Like, how
It
did you
sounds
do?"
like your market's being affected like much more
It,
harshly than
yeah,
ours is.
it would be, yeah, it would be,
Yeah.
because I'd mainly say because of I'd say your market will be getting affected right now, because didn't that helicopter drop just happen?
No, it was a few weeks. I mean, we're at peak in some states, and some states are already starting to taper off now. So we're like right in the middle of it,
Okay.
slash slightly on the downward trend, hopefully.
Oh, okay. So, what happens is then, like, we got that check through like about over a week ago. So it's just been flowing through, and people have just been like snapping up rigs left, right, and center. That's like they should have called it like gaming PC stimulus, because it's like the perfect. It's the
That's what
perfect.
they were used.
Yeah, it's what it was used for, man. It's like the perfect amount of money just to give people a go at getting some tech. And see, because
That's true.
because they've closed off all public places. See, the last time a helicopter drop happened in Australia, people just went and blew it all at your usual spots, like the CAS, you know.
Yeah,
This time
yeah.
around, they can't do it. So, yeah. And so we got our first super chat as well. We got I am in Australia. Oh, awesome, man. Fellow Aussie. And it costs lots for CPU, GPU, and RAM. Yeah, exactly. So
Man, you
that's
guys are getting hammered over
yeah.
there. That is so weird.
It's nasty here, man. It's nasty, dude. So that's why
Jeez.
I like literally. That's why you see Potato Hunter. That's the birth of it,
You know
because
what you could do? You could buy a bunch of parts here in the States. I'll ship them to you. Assuming your import duty, taxes, fees, all that crap aren't too high, you'd probably still make you bump your margins up a good bit.
we could do
You
that.
know?
I mean, yeah, we'll work something out, man. We'll work something out. So, but yeah, we got any news for you to report before we get into the juicy tech news here from Tech Something? Is there any news that you want to say? Look, Brian, this is so important in the tech scene right now.
Okay, I want to show you guys this. I don't know if anyone's seen this yet. So Lisa put this together, and it's just an MSI Dragon out of Lego.
Dude, can we get that off stream, man? Just get that off.
What?
It's
It's fake Lego, but I think it's really cool. It's like it looks Minecrafty.
okay,
You know
all right. All right, we're going to the first story then. All right, so let's do it.
Oh,
right,
come on,
dude. You know how cheesy that thing looks in real life? Like you go to like I'm gonna critique straight away. I'm gonna be honest. MSI, you go to your booths and stuff at like events, and you see this like cartoon dragon. It's like, can we get a real dragon? Like you look at.
Can we get a real dragon?
That is not a real dragon, dude.
No, but their logo looks cool. I mean, come on, that they have one of the coolest looking logos. You gotta admit.
Are you getting
They
paid?
do.
Are you getting paid to say that?
No, it's just straight up. I
Alright.
just think they have one of the
We got
coolest looking
we got a
logos.
shill here now. We got a
Oh my
MSI
god,
shill.
really?
Confirmed on
I can't
live
think of the
stream.
last time I've used an MSI product. It's just I don't.
There we go.
Oh
We caught
my
him out.
God.
We got him.
Ah.
We got him. All right, so we got here Ryzen 3 3300X. Starting off this news. This is a rumor from WCCF Tech. We don't know how accurate it is yet, but it seems pretty concrete in what we're reading here. Ryzen 3 3100 and the release, the base clocks are to be determined by basically $109 and 139 USD, right? What are you thinking with this? Do you like either of these CPUs? I know you're probably going to say Ryzen 5 1600 AF, and this is the thing. Before we even get into the Ryzen 5,
Everyone's saying that in the
1600 AF.
chat. Just a heads up.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
saying that. Why
Just-
would I buy this? Why would I just
Yeah.
buy a 1600F?
So,
AF?
but before we get
Don't
into
blame 'em.
that, but before we get into that, right? Before we get into that argument, that CPU isn't available everywhere. We've seen that with certain countries, certain stock supplies. I mean, we did get it in Australia for 149 Aussie dollars, but that was only at one retailer. So they had to pull some strings. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the 3100 and I'm liking what I see. Like, I really think that's good. If you've got $109, you can get the latest Zen 2 IPC, and it's going to give you better FPS than the 1600 AF will in a lot of titles. Let's be real
Yeah,
about
and
it.
that was something I had said right at the beginning of the stream. Someone asked why you would get that for 105, 109, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Instead of a 6-core, or even if it was an original 1600 for $80 or whatever you can find them for,
Yeah.
that would be the better buy. But you're right, to an extent, having more cores isn't going to benefit you if you're on a weaker, inferior architecture. And Zen 2 is noticeably better in a lot of, especially when you're like in that 4 to 6 core range. I think having stronger individual cores can go a lot further. So in that case, at $109, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's split. I don't know what the proportion of it would be, but I personally would go for the newer architecture. At that price, I don't think that's bad. I mean, we're talking a $20 to $30 delta. I don't imagine many people are going to sweat over that. If you can get a stock cooler included, more power to you. You know, so
Yeah, so
we'll see.
this is where I'm like sitting on with this CPU. There's so like it's good. It's good. It's not be all and end all. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. And so when something's not bad, I'm not really gonna care too much, right? I'm gonna say, look, Ryzen 3 3100. If it's $109 and it's Zen 2, I'm gonna say it's pretty solid. It's good. It's gonna service a market where 1600 AF isn't available, cheap used parts aren't available. And if it's available, go get that because it's going to be a good buy. That's all I'm going to say about it. I think we're getting into these arguments too much lately of go get this, you have to get that. And it's like, well, is this going to do the job for what you need it to do? And the answer is yeah, this thing is going to kick some butt with a mid-range graphics card. And in fact, it could even be better for a lot of people as opposed to the Ryzen 5 1600 AF because 4 cores, 8 threads. I think it's real sweet spot still with mid-range cards. We're talking like even a used GTX 1070, 1660 Super. That's where this CPU is just going to fall in line with perfectly. So I mean, then
You know what would be like a clutch Intel move? They'll never do this, but it would be pretty clutch. They have the i3 9100F now, which I'm
yeah.
running tests on because it's so cheap. I think what $70 something.
Oh, is it
for
that
4
cheap now?
cores.
Wow.
Yeah, it's under $100. I don't know exactly what it is, but it looked pretty compelling. I was like, this might be like the one semi-bargain, apart from maybe the 9400F
Yeah.
chip that Intel makes. I asked them to send one, and that's why I'm testing it now. But what would be super clutch is if Intel enabled hyper-threading on the Core i3, charged a $30 premium or whatever, marked it up to $100, let's say 110, like directly targeted the Ryzen 3 3100.
Yeah.
Would be pretty sweet, because then you would have a struggle again to recommend one or the other. At that point, you'd have to rely more on the platform. I'm sure people would probably still choose Ryzen largely because of the just simplicity of the upgrade path, although we expect Zen 2 or whatever comes next to be the dead end on the AM4 socket. So who knows? But I think that would be really clutch of Intel to do. In a perfect world, which we definitely don't live in, that would be pretty cool.
We live. Oh man, I gotta close my email down. I think that came through on stream, eh?
What's
Okay.
up? Uh-oh.
Yeah, just the email is people are gonna get hit. So, oh no, sorry about that, guys. That's one thing I forgot to do, was close down my email client before I started live stream. There's always gonna be one blunder. It's all coming through. It's like doodle-doo. I'm like, oh no, that's gonna come out in live stream, isn't it? So what we're talking now, what we're going through with the i3, right? The new i3 is coming out on the 10th gen. They're going to have hyper-threading enabled, apparently. I mean, it looks like it will be a definite with Ryzen. You're looking at the Ryzen 3 3100 having extra threads as well. So that's going to be a definite. Now that's going to hit really hard for Intel too. I think it's going to come down to who's going to be offering the cheapest motherboard and CPU together at this price point. So if they have H410 hitting out straight out of the get-go, and it works with a cheap i3 entry level, and you can get this whole combo. Say you get the CPU, it comes with the cooler, you get the motherboard, it's $120. Then you add your DDR4 memory, you're going to be good to go. That's like...
I would have said at that point, if you had very competitive i3 and R3 CPUs, like you said, motherboard would play a huge part. That's the obvious next step. Memory as well. They're both on DDR4, but remember, Ryzen's going to be more reliant on faster memory for that. Now, a year or two ago, I would have told you I would have taken the Intel chip had they been the same price, because you can pair cheaper, slower DDR4 with the Intel chip and not see a huge reduction in frame rate, just because the ring bus latency is not tied to memory speed, whereas the Infinity Fabric is on AMD's side.
Yeah.
But because memory is so cheap now, like you can get a 3200 megahertz kit for like $70, 16 gigs, CAS 16, 18 timings.
Yeah.
Like really nice kit for $70. That was the only other Achilles heel AMD had. And with memory prices so cheap now, there's not really much of an incentive to not choose them.
You seeing that, bro?
Oh
man.
Oh, give me that curveball.
Yeah, here we go. So here's the thing, though. Do you think DDR4 prices are going to go up? And this is a scary thing. Let me tell you about DDR3 right now. DDR3 is literally coming out. I've got suppliers direct giving me quotes. SSDs are coming down, which is a really good news. So SSDs will be flowing through soon. You'll see prices coming down on that. DDR3, though, is still, like, it's ridiculous how much DDR3 is at the moment. It's literally the same price as DDR4 coming in, like, from suppliers' ends. So, but do you think DDR4 will then start to catch trend and start going up in price? And my thinking is, I'm going to say straight away, you can have a think about that. I'm going to say kind of no, because of this naming scheme. Because they're going with this i3, which I just think that people, like, they're going to have their new i3 10th gen coming out. And it's going to be way faster than, not going to be way faster, it's going to be faster than an i7 4770. Thing is, people on the used market are still going to go buy an i7 4770 over an i3 10100 or whatever they call it. And the reason being is because they just see i7 and they're like, oh man, yeah. i7.
It sounds like Beavis and Butthead.
That's what it is, dude. Like, that's what's going on. Also, we did get a super chat about, it was a good question though. There was a super chat about Ryzen 7 1700. I didn't catch it. Do you want to pull that question?
Oh, yeah. He asked if he should upgrade his 1700 to a 3100 for the sake of memory compatibility. Would you see a gaming benefit?
Oh, he will in a lot of games. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, it depends on the game, but I imagine you would if the game's only going to leverage 4-6 threads at a time.
Especially,
which a lot of them do.
Especially if he's got that 1700 and its IMC just doesn't want to go. Like if he's got 3200 megahertz memory and he's trying to bash that in, and it's just going nowhere, and he has to lower that down.
None of my kids did on my 1700.
So he's not only going to get the IPC, he's going to get the memory improvements too. So that's why, like, I wasn't keen on first gen. I've said this a few times. Like, I'll say it probably every live stream. I'm not that keen on first gen. Second gen, third gen's where it's at for AMD. But yeah, there's that news. So anyway, on to some more tech news before we move over to chat. We've got here ASRock. This is a pretty cool thing. Like, look, I know ASRock sponsored the channel. I want to show them some love, but this actually really caught, like, because I get the email, I get the marketing emails, and I'm like, whoa, this actually looks really cool. They got their Challenger 5500 XT, and this is like an ITX 5500 XT 8GB. And this thing looks amazing. Like, you got this little GPU.
I think I have that.
Wait. Well, they just released it now. If you've got that, I'm gonna talk to Azra.
It says Challenger. It says Challenger 5700 XT 4.
No. This is Challenger 5500 XT. ITX.
5500 XT. That's what it is. It says Challenger 5500 XT.
ITX.
It's the Challenger 5500 XT. I don't know. Is it called Challenger ITX?
Yeah, ITX. Yeah. So it's a small. It's a really small. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I really like what they're doing here. This is what I think the 5500 XT needs to go in this direction.
You gotta send me those links, dude. I didn't know you had the link up for that.
That's okay. That's okay. We had to start the live stream ASAP, dude. You know what I'm at. You know, we got to get this done ASAP.
Yeah, no, but I didn't know what you were talking about because you're talking about an article I can't see.
So you can get back to that beautiful wife and beautiful life.
God damn. Yeah, I know, but I gotta contribute somehow. I can't do that without articles. Go ahead and type it in manually.
Okay, yeah. That's what I mean. You got freedom on your end. I can't do a whole lot here, otherwise I'm gonna mess up the stream. So the viewers get to see it before you do. That's what I mean. I take care of you guys out there in the audience. So we got here.
What, at my expense?
Yeah, that's it. That's how it works, baby. All right.
Oh, gee. That's what I get for being on your channel. I see.
Yeah, that's it, man. So
just getting done dirty right now.
That's it. We got the 5500 XT ITX. So this is small. It's really small, and that's about it. So it looks pretty cool. Like, I can't wait to get my hands on one of these because you could do so much with this little card and you're going to get really good performance. Like, it goes, I'd say it's about tied with the 1650 Super, depending on what games you're playing. They're kind of neck and neck. And of course, it's going to be after the driver optimization. It's going to be a bit faster than a RX 580. So yeah, I'm liking where this is at. It looks cool. What does the audience think? What does Greg think? Have you pulled up a picture yet?
Yeah, did you mention MSRP? Do they have an idea?
No, that's that. I mean, once that hits the streets, it hits the streets. But I just want to see more companies do this. I guess that's like a PSA. Like, yeah, give us those low-powered, even a 5600 XT. I think they could do something with that before that VBIOS update, because that was the power consumption figures on that before they did the VBIOS update were really impressive.
They were a lot lower.
Yeah, and so I thought they could do something really cool with that. And at the end of the day, it's like these contests of having to be the best in that price point, isn't that relevant as to just what would work practically work in a rig? So what I'm seeing is there was not enough sellers. If we go to say the 1650, the original, the non-super, the one that doesn't need the PCIe 6-pin, I would have loved to have seen so many more sellers drop low-profile versions of those. But they missed that opportunity from the get-go, and even now, there's not enough low-profile 1650s out there. So I want to see more of this. And I mean, this doesn't look like it's low-profile, but I'd love to see if it does hit, or if someone gets a just get more low-profile GPUs and ITX solutions out on this low-end stuff, because it's really cool.
What do you mean low profile? You mean like one slot or what?
No, so it's thin. It's thin. So you know those thin PCs you get, like you get a small form factor HP.
I see what you mean. Yeah, so like a half of the full slot length basically, or whatever.
And they've got, and this is the thing, they've got platinum power supplies in them. Like these are little rigs with platinum power supplies. They run so efficient, and they're so nice. Well, man, Super Chat's coming in hot today. Like what? They must be loving this text something. So I can't really read them.
Kieran gave you 10 Aussie. He didn't say anything there.
Oh, okay. Oh, cheers. It's like, yeah, these super chats are popping, man. Like, thank you
Mr.
guys.
Mustaches, he said, please bring out a Tech Yes City T-shirt. Much love from America.
Oh, we got some merch. I got to put the link. Maybe I missed it in this live
Merch.
stream, but we got some merch. We got some merch crack, and there's the Tech Yes City. All right there, shill on stream. Just like we'll quickly shill Corsair's Virtuoso for you guys. There it is.
Yeah.
Because they're sponsored the stream, and their headset's really nice. So the Corsair Virtuoso,
They are.
solid headset, man. I haven't had. I actually want to stream now because this headset. I just want to put it on and talk to you guys. And see, before I had a condenser mic, and I'm like, "Yo, what up? I got a condenser mic. Yo, yeah, listen to my voice." No, it's not like that. This is just freedom. This is like, yo, what's cracking? What's popping? Now we got the last article here. We're gonna go over to Tweaktown. They posted this MSI 16 gigabits per second GDDR6 memory on the new GeForce RTX 2080 Ti Gaming Z Trio. Wow. Like this is groundbreaking, man. This is what we've all been waiting for years after the original 2080 Ti was released, right?
I
Right?
just pulled it up. Sorry,
Oh,
I was
okay.
looking for it.
I mean, I'm not impressed at all. Like, whatever. Can we get RTX?
What is the? I mean, is it going to give you any? Was it memory bottlenecked at all to begin with?
No, I don't think so. It just
So, like, what's the point?
yeah. I mean, it's just like, hey, we got to release something. Maybe like I don't know. Nvidia really needs to release RTX 3000 or give us a tease. Like this is the thing. I don't know why Nvidia don't just tease it a bit more. Like, hey guys, we got this coming. You can look forward to this because we're all in lockdown. We're all in lockdown. We're all kind of getting bored. I would have loved to. I'd like to get teased right now, and yeah, but and not in the way.
Brian likes a good tease.
That's it. Not in the way, Greg. See, Greg's mind. That's it. Greg's mind straight away goes to the wrong. His mind's going elsewhere.
That ain't the wrong way. That's the right way to think.
All right. Yeah. All right. Respect. okay. So, all right. Basically, now we're going to segue. So we'll go over to chat soon. But I wanted to talk about. So there's all this laptop news coming out, like Zen 3 CPUs, Ryzen 4000 in laptops, and there's then the 10th gen Intel CPUs. But here's the reason I didn't even want to bother touching that because we haven't got the RTX 3000 GPUs, and this segues from this article into the laptops perfectly. Like, why would you go out and buy a laptop now with these new CPUs, but these older GPUs when you know Ryzen 3000s RTX 3000s around the corner? It's going to be so much more power efficient, going to be more performance. That's what you want in a laptop.
Doesn't it take them a few? I don't know. I'm not as familiar with laptops. But doesn't it take a few more months for them to bring like Max Q designs or whatever they call them now?
But that's the kicker, right? Now that we've been delayed, maybe they're going to launch laptops at the same time. So
I don't know.
Yeah, like anyway, that's my thinking. Is like you got such a big jump here for the GPU side of things. If I was buying a gaming laptop, I'd just hold out for now, buy something cheap. Lenovo, what is that, yoga pad or something where you do yoga on it? Just grab one of those for now, hold out. Once the yoga pad's finished, grab yourself an RTX 3000 laptop with the new Zen processors and stuff. So it's like the CPU side of things, it looks great, but the GPU side of things in laptops right now really is like you got that little bit longer, just wait out and you're going to get something amazing.
But here's the thing too, like you know, if you want the biggest and baddest, yeah, okay, cool, that's fine. But if you were gonna get something like, let's say you get a laptop with a 120 hertz 1080p screen, and it's got a whatever the 8-core Zen 4000 series CPU. I don't know which one it's called.
Yeah.
But let's say you got that, so you get a pretty sweet, actually a really sweet CPU in there. But if you were going to get like a 2070 Max Q or again, whatever, I don't know if they're still using Max Q or not. Like, to me, that's all you're going to need anyway for a 1080p 120 hertz screen.
Yep.
Unless you're doing some crazy like ultra settings with like Witcher 3 and mods. I don't know. But, you know, most reasonable gaming, 120 hertz, 1080p, 2070 Max Q is fine. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't need to wait for the biggest and baddest thing to come out from Nvidia. And even if you did, then you could argue at that point, okay, well, you sat around with no laptop or upgrade for 8 months. And now that you've waited 8 months, why not just wait 8 more months or another year or maybe another 2 years to see if Nvidia comes out with something else, or if AMD comes out
it's a laptop, bro. It's a laptop. I'm usually on your side of the fence, right? I'm usually on that side of don't wait to upgrade. But this is different. This is like a big generation. It's like going out and buying
because
a
you can't upgrade.
No, but hear me out.
Yeah.
It's like going out and buying a PS4 Pro now and be like, yeah, this thing's gonna be mad for years. Nah, just wait for the PS5, bro. See my thinking? Yeah, that's my thinking. Sometimes it's not good to hold out, but sometimes it is good to hold out. I'm just saying it's one of those situations where I think it's good to hold out.
You have to see utility in buying a laptop now and having a laptop now in order to actually justify it. You can't just buy it because you're impatient.
That's what I'm saying. Go buy the Yogo pad for now if you need that portability.
Sure. I mean, you could buy a Chromebook for that matter. I mean, if you just need something to type on or search for the web on, go buy a Chromebook, and then you can get your proper laptop.
Just
later.
buy nothing and just type in the air.
Use your cell phone or
just pretend
use your Apple Watch or whatever.
Just pretend you're using a laptop. Save some money. So, all right. So we're gonna jump over to chat. We had Kieran, man. Kieran's going hard on the donations. He's going. I have a GTX 1070 Ti. He wants to upgrade. Two of them. What? No. Should I wait for his Navi 2? Yeah, you should. You should wait for Navi 2 or wait for RTX 3000. That would be my...
When's Navi 2 coming? I haven't heard anything about Navi 2.
Apparently, so I don't know. That's the thing. So, yeah.
These questions are so common. I literally made a video on this and I haven't released it yet. But, like, should I upgrade to this or should I wait for this? You know, like, they're really open-ended questions because we got to know what games you play. We got to know if you're currently satisfied with what you have now, and if you, I don't know, just have a hole in your pocket and you know you want to buy new stuff. That's fine, go at it. But you shouldn't have to ask us if you have a hole in your pocket. Just go spend the money whenever, you know.
So
go buy a 2080 now and then upgrade again later. What's to stop you from doing that?
HODL, yeah, that's it. HODL, that's what he's saying. You should HODL. Yeah. And Tech Canucks just bought a PS4 Pro. No regrets here. Was it used? I could ask you if it was used. If it was used, it's not bad. You can get PS4 Pro used for pretty cheap right now. Okay, so let's move over. Who's got questions? Do you think i7-8700 is okay as price performance for gaming with an RTX 2080 than an 8700K? Yeah, just get some good memory with that thing, man. Make sure you get some decent DDR. I'd say the sweet spot's DDR4 3000 megahertz, at least from my testing. It's pretty cheap. If you can afford the 3200 megahertz stuff, go with that. But you're going to see a huge difference. So
you won't see a huge difference with Intel using 2666 either.
Yeah, I know, but you still just want to get that. So
well, if you can. Yeah. If it's like $5 different, you might as well get the faster range. And that's my point. Like it used to be way different. 3200 megahertz a year or two ago when the memory shortage was, you know, really in its prime, it was $50 delta between the cheap 2666 stuff, which I think is the 26. Is it 2133 or 2666 is like not the lowest? I think it's 2133. You barely see 2133 anymore just because they've all
technically, I think you can get 1866. It's just you don't see it.
Okay.
But do you think i7? Sorry, no. Next question we had here. Do you still have the MSI 960-100? Is that the special edition? That got hawked long ago. I'm pretty good on my turnover, man. My turnover is pretty quick. And how's this? I had a guy, this is the weirdest thing I've ever had, like in the history of selling a PC. I had someone yesterday, right? They're like, the wife is like, call up my husband. Here's his number. Please call him up. He's interested in a gaming PC. Not this gaming PC in your ad, a gaming PC. That's what it said. So I call him up and I get abused. Like, that's literally like, I'm like, hey man, you're interested in a gaming PC? He's like, oh yeah. Is it available? I'm like, I just sold that one. Why are you calling me up, man? I'm like, whoa, bro. Like, here's the thing. I got something. What happened? Your screen just went internal temp high. Dude, you've lost him. Yeah, bro. Your camera overheated. Hey, I was telling the best story too.
I'm scared. I fixed it. Keep going.
Okay, yeah. Give us a crappy webcam at least in the meantime. Okay, cool.
There
we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's overheated, man.
Dang, dude, it is hot. Holy crap.
What camera is that?
A6400. I've never... It might be because I'm doing it in 4K and it doesn't really make sense to do a stream in 4K, but...
Dude, my Panasonic, my G7 is just a workhorse, dude. This thing is amazing.
Is it the G85 or
G7? Just a G7 I used to use as my main camera. So, I
used to use a G85. It's the same thing, just with EOS.
So anyway, I call the dude up, starts abusing me. And I'm like, okay, whatever, take a hike. And then I say to the lady on Facebook, I'm like, yo, like next time you ask me to call someone, can you please not just like get called up and get abused? And then he calls me back, and I'm just like, man, what? So I just blasted him, and then hung up the phone, and then blocked him and blocked her. But it's just so weird. It's like the whole principle of you're after a gaming PC, and then you call them up and you get abused. It's like, man, some people nowadays, like, anyway, that was just the most frustrating thing I've had in a while. So, yeah,
Like what? I mean,
yeah.
is it because you're like one of the only suppliers right now? It feels
Dude,
like
apparently from what I gauge, right, she probably gave out his number to a few other sellers already, and they like a lot of these guys are
yeah.
hawks, so they'll call up straight away. I was just like, look, I'm busy. I was busy as yesterday, so I'm guessing he got a few more calls from some other guys who had the same thing. Like, look, we've just sold, like we're selling out of PCs. Like as soon as you list them, they're gone, sort of thing. You got to be quick. And so he probably is like, look, I just want to buy this, what's available on Facebook or whatever's on Gumtree. And it's like, well, man, I try to explain to him, look, bro, it's not a normal situation right now. You know what I mean? You if you're
Yeah.
not going to understand what the situation's like, then why get angry? So, yeah. Anyway,
Jeez.
yeah, it's just one of those weirdest things. It's like, hey, call up my husband so you can get abused. Yeah, that's what they should have said. Just bought a used but re-thermal pasted clean 1070 on eBay for 234 out the door. How good of a deal did I get? Is that USD or Aussie? If it's Aussie, it's a
Yeah.
really good deal. If it's USD, it's mediocre, like
Not
below
that
mediocre.
great. No.
Yeah.
It is. You can get 1070s under $200 now on eBay.
Okay.
Last I checked.
Brian loves the used performance. Yes, I do. I love that used performance. Okay, so we're going through the questions, man. We've got a huge backlog here. Jello, hey Jello, what's cracking, brother? He's a really cool guy, man. He met us at Computex last year, and we hung out, and it's really cool. Is a 3700X with a RTX 2080 pairing considered high-end? Yeah, definitely. That's a high-end PC, like for gaming. Might not be a high-end video editing PC, but it's a high-end gaming PC for sure. Brian, you inspired me to do a $500 AUD all in. It's okay, sweet. The performance rocks, and they love both the guys' vids. They love your videos too, Greg. Are you happy?
Yo, hey,
Yeah.
people want to know if your price in the thumbnail is in USD or
Oh,
AUD.
USD. I think it's USD. 109 USD.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be 109 Aussie dollars. Not with the
No.
USD being so strong right
No
now.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be looking at like a $60 4-core 8-thread on the latest IPC.
That'd be baller. Too baller. Yeah.
Okay, so Brian, posting to someone online about a $700 budget build, suggesting RX 570 and a 3200G. TechFast have a system for $699 that has an RX 580. Is that a decent system to recommend or nah? 3200G is the older IPC, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd just
Gen
try
Plus.
I'd try and get a Ryzen 5 2600 in there instead. Like, there's no point buying an APU if you're not going to use it for what the APU is intended for. That's just my thinking. You're going to really want, like, because the APU, when you couple it with a dedicated graphics card, it's not as strong as CPU anyway. It doesn't have as much cache on it or cache, yeah. Like, it's just a weaker CPU inherently anyway compared to its same IPC brethren. So
Yeah.
that's off the
Yeah.
top of my head. So no, I'd recommend, like, TechFast have some really good deals, but if you can micromanage that and get a better CPU in there, definitely go for that. That'd be my recommendation. So let's move through the questions of the questionnaires. Well, man, it's moving so fast. Okay. If you see questions you want to answer, Greg, go for it, man. I'm not like,
Juan, is a
well,
3600X good for a GTX 1080? Yep, perfect. No problem. You could pair 3600X with a 2080 Ti, and in most
yeah,
games, you're still not going to be CPU bound. I
yeah.
would be surprised if you were.
Okay. Well, a 2700X and oh man, I lost it. Okay, you just keep answering questions. I'll try and find something.
Is a Ryzen 5 1500X good for streaming? It's a good intro streamer. I mean, it's not going to be terrible. It's definitely better than
Oh, did
arguably
the
better than an
auto
equivalent Intel
did
CPU.
did the audio change over to your webcam mic or something? That's crazy.
Oh, really?
I
Let me
I did.
check.
Oh
Let me
yeah.
check.
Okay, so we're gonna go
No,
through
I'm
here.
coming through.
Got a
Coming through
GTX
here.
1063 gigabyte for 160 Aussie What do you reckon of the price in this current market? Yeah, GTX 1060, 3 GB even for 160 Aussie is a decent deal, man. Yeah, you're gonna be hard pressed to get that kind of deal anywhere for GPUs right now. GPUs are just going whoo, and it's especially around the low end to the mid range. Like anything, if you're putting together a rig for under $1,000 right now, anything that goes into those rigs is going up in price. The higher end stuff is generally not as affected because the bottom line is people just want to get a gaming PC for either general usage or playing Fortnite or even Warzone. And you can get that for under 1,000 Aussie dollars. So that's what you're looking at with this huge amount of demand right now. That's why I did the Potato Hunter series. Brian, what high-end GPU will pair well with the 1600 AF? Get some good memory on the 1600 AF, but I would say RTX 2070 or 5700 would be like perfect pairing with that CPU. If you know how to get the most out of the CPU, if you're going to put crap memory with it and really limit the 1600 AF, then you're just going with the 1660 or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely good with an RX 5700 and also a 2070. And that's the funny thing about the RTX 2070. I don't say the Super because the 2070s can be had for pretty much the same price as the 2060 Super. Now, if you're going to flip that in the future, having that 2070 branding name there is so much better than having the 2060 Super, because I get people, like, they ask me about high-end systems. They're like, oh, does it have a 2070 in it? I'm like, yeah, but you kind of want the 2070 Super. And they're like, oh, what's that? So you've still got that confusion out there about not having Super versus not Super, whatever it is. So, all right, so people loving the
Thanks,
stream.
Nvidia.
Thanks for all the love hearts, guys. You guys are awesome. Yo, Brian, what's a X79 board sell for an AUD? If it's a branded board like MSI, Asus, especially if it's a Zeus or Gigabyte or ASRock, you can get at least like 200 Aussie for that thing, man, if it's a decent board. So, I've got a question too. Love the Potato Hunter series. Can we expect more? Yep. You can expect more, especially as long as this thing goes on, man. Potato Hunter is going to continue. Hopefully they'll lift restrictions soon, but I got no idea when restrictions are going to lift. So is Ryzen Master good? do you want to answer that? I don't use it. I don't use it.
I don't use it.
Yeah, I don't use it. Yeah. I mean, it might be good, but I don't use it. 1080 or Vega 64? Oh, man, these questions are good. You gotta chime in here, because what it does is it like resets and drops me all the way down the bottom again. As I'm
That's fine. You just kept going, man. I was just gonna you were popping up on this question.
Okay. Just
Go
chime
ahead,
in.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
Okay.
2200G bad with RX 570. No, it's about right. Would you recommend R9 390X 8GB use for 85 USD? Yes, that's a pretty good deal. Brian, is there a new Xeon review that we can see in the next? Yeah, there will be. I've got to do the motherboard roundup for the V3 Xeons. That's coming whenever the stuff decides to get here, whether that's another month later, I don't know. Brian, what's the latest meta? It would be like at the moment where I'm at. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's literally I've taken to getting out of soldering iron. That's how bad it is. So I've run out of connectors and they're not coming in anytime soon. So the latest meta would be to get like HP 4th gens and start like literally if you're pretty decent. I've gotten decent at soldering. So like if you can extend the power supply, the CPU cables and stuff, yeah, you can get a really good build together. Like just with the 1650 or something like that. It's getting pretty nuts, man. How high demand is for these mid-range gaming PCs, but how little supply there is. Everyone's just drying up, dude. Everyone is drying up. And so people are begging me for PCs. And I'm like, all right, I can do this for you. And they're like, yep, please. I'm like, all right. So yeah, I'm taken to a soldering iron now to get builds done. That's how bad it is. So the latest meta though would be to get 4th gen HPs. Like, and if you know what you're doing with them, there's generally a pretty good supply of that still. And you saw me pick one up.
You still use those cases? Do you keep the stock cases with them?
No. You got to recase them, man. Like the stock cases won't fit the GPUs in. That's what I was saying before about.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Well, some of them will. I mean, some of them.
If you can get low profile. If you can get low profile, yeah, sure. But that's
no. But I mean the mid tower HPs. Don't they make mid tower HPs too?
Yeah,
The
they do.
Z,
Oh,
what do they call it?
yeah. I did a video on them. Yeah, I've sold
Yeah,
all them. You can find the Z200 workstations, man. They're
Z200. That's
amazing.
or
Yeah,
Z400s. Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
was
If you can,
thinking.
yeah, Z400s too. They're a bit heavier. So, but when you get a
Yeah.
kid, well, if you get a kid and his mum rocking up to pick up a PC, it's kind of like you've got to carry it to the car
Yeah.
for him, and you feel sorry. You're like, how are you going to carry this thing out to your home? So that's why I like the Z200. It's just such a good balance of everything, and that's why I recommended that. So just recently picked up an RTX 2060 WindForce for $270. Good buy. It's pretty solid. Not gonna say it's about. That's a pretty good buy. Yeah. A year ago in India, I bought RX 580 for 300 USD. Ouch, man, that's a bit too expensive. Saw a GTX 1070 for 150 CAD on eBay. Are these deals scams? I'd have to check out the listing, but yeah, I'd be careful of that. It looks a little bit scamish. Maybe it's faulty or something like that. So, what are your thoughts between RTX 2060 and 5600 XT? They're both good, man. Like, they're both pretty good. I would lean, see, for me, because I flip this stuff, I lean towards Nvidia. And I've said this in the past. Nvidia logo carries more weight than AMD logo. If you want better bang for buck, 5600 XT is going to probably edge out. It's going to edge out the 2060 definitely. It's going to be better price performance. But if you want to reflip things, RTX 2060 is going to get people like they're going to be dancing with their Jar Jar mugs. So. Oh, how you doing? Just a sec. Sorry, I got to get back to streaming. Okay, so we go through the questions. Okay. Can you use a Ryzen 7 3700X and a RTX 3000 graphics card? Can you do streaming while gaming? Yeah. Like, you can do that with an RTX 2000, so you could do it with an RTX 3000, easy. Is 107 a fair deal for RX 750? I've never heard of an RX 750. Is a HD 7970 for 50 CAD a good deal? Yes, that's a pretty solid deal. I'd snap that up ASAP. Which CPU is the best for gaming if I get an RTX 2080 Ti? Be 9900K currently. 10th gen's coming pretty soon, so I'd wait for that. Is it okay for 4 cores will hold you back at some point? Okay, so have you got any questions you want to smash through here, Greg?
I've been seeing one from Leo. He's been posting pretty chill. He said 9600K. Will that hold for another year? Only gaming paired with a 2060 Super. I think so. I mean, if you're only gaming, i5s are still viable. They're obviously not the better value from my perspective, but if you already have one, I don't think there's a need to overhaul everything if you're just gaming. Very few games will fully saturate 6 overclocked cores, especially.
Okay, so we got a question here which is pretty interesting. It's how much do you think I could sell an i7 960 12 gigabytes of RAM SSD and a GTX 580 for in an RGB case? Honestly, I'd take the GTX 580 out. I don't know, man. Like, I tried actually selling a GTX 500. This is a true story. I tried selling a GTX 500 series card in a rig, and the guy's like trying to boot up COD, the new latest COD, play multiplayer, and doesn't even boot. And I felt so bad. I'm like, hey, come back, I'll just change it over for something, like that'll actually play it. And yeah, so the GTX 500 series is really just getting too old.
That's really old, yeah.
And so I'd change the GPU because the i7 960 is still capable of Fortnite and COD at 60 FPS easy, even if you don't overclock it. So I'd save the GTX 580 for like a super potato build. Like, we're talking, if you say you get a budget i5 750 in, and you just want to make like a basic Fortnite gaming PC, I'd leave that GPU for that. So G4560 and B250 MATX board for $50 USD. Yeah, it's okay. SLI still worth it? Depends on the game, man. I made a video on SLI. My opinion would still stay the same for SLI as that video's conclusion.
What was your opinion?
It depends. If you're playing one particular game and you can get the benefits of it, then yeah, go for it. Like,
what game can you get more than 50%?
Okay, let's say Shadow of the Tomb Raider, for instance. Bang, huge gains over even
in DX12.
Yeah, so we're talking about say for instance 2080 Ti versus two 2070 Supers. The two 2070 Supers smashed the 2080 Ti. Same.
Yeah, but two 2070 Supers are like
no, about the same as the 2080 Ti. Yeah, price wise.
$450, $500 for a 2070 Super. 2080 is only $650, $700.
2080 Ti.
Right?
2080 Ti.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't hear the Ti. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that would get you almost identical pricing.
Yeah. Will you continue the $100 flipping series? Yes, definitely. It's just I'm waiting for things to get back to normal because I want to take you guys on a journey with that. That's like I realize the channel here has to tell a story, and that main story is me, I guess, making my way up through the tracks, and I want to like help people out. This is a community of a big strong part of Tech Yes City is turning trash into treasure, and I realize that now. So that series is going to be core to the channel. And once this stuff lifts, I kind of want to really give that some attention. So in the meantime, Potato Hunt is kind of like a filler, if you will. A good filler. Like I'm enjoying this, so it's having a lot of fun with it. But next question we got. What is the most FPS a 1080 can handle on Fortnite low settings? Ugh, like probably going up to like 350, 400. I don't know.
They said it's over 9,000.
I'd be guessing around 350. That'd be my guess. 350.
Way more than you'll likely ever benefit from. So it's kind of an irrelevant question unless you have a 360 hertz monitor.
Yeah, if you go through juicy questions. So Ryzen 5 1600 on B450 Aorus Pro Wi-Fi with a GTX 970. What should I ask for it? Ooh, depends on your market, dude. If you're in a drought market with high demand, I would just, you could probably get around 500 USD for that. Honestly, easy. Like if it's in Australia, like if you were selling that in Australia, you could sell it for 500 USD like that. Bang, that'd be gone. Probably even a little bit more. Next question. Linus don't do budget-minded content like Brian and Greg. Oh, thanks, man. Linus is growing.
You do a lot more of that than I do.
Man, Linus is growing this weird beard right now. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah, it's like got a good scrub. It's about probably what I could do if I let it grow out.
Yeah, that's me too.
It's not nothing to be proud about, but definitely different.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it. I think he looks better without the beard.
So. I actually like it. It makes them look less. I don't know. Like if I clean shave, I look like I'm 16. I look like I'm still in freaking high school.
That's a good thing, bro. Everyone wants to be 16 again, man.
Then no one takes you seriously though. They think you're a kid. They're like, oh, what does this kid know? You know what I mean?
Just I don't know, man. Just get some. You got thick eyebrows. You're all good. You don't look 16, bro. Get those eyebrows.
I just gotta. I've seriously though. If I clean shave, I've looked almost the same.
Yeah.
Since I was about 16, 17. Ever since like. Once you finish puberty, it's like until you hit 30, 35, that's when you probably start looking different. But.
All right, cool. All right, so last of the few questions. We did get some super chats. I missed them, man. What did they... Gabriel says, have you answered my question about CPU cache? Nope. What was it? And then we got here, buddy coming to India for a parts haul. If the road takes me to India, so say for instance there's an event in India, I will hit up India. I'm not going to just go fly directly to India just to be like, hey, let's do a parts hunt. Like, I'm going to be losing out on a heap of money if I do that. And then we got, but that's the thing. Like, so I piggyback a lot of the parts hunts on the back of events. So Computex, for instance, perfect example. Go over there, get the goods done, but I also do the parts hunt there. Next question is RX 580 with a 2600 or 3600. Just go with the 2600, save the money. Next up, we got my PC has a RX Vega 56 and a Ryzen 7 1700X with 16 gigabytes of RAM. Is it any good? Question is no. Nah, just joking. It's a decent PC. It's a pretty good balance. So best CPU for Dota 2, way too generic. I need to know more specifics. Okay. So Gabriel's, he really wants his question answered. In which manner I would benefit from having more CPU cache size? Last time I tested ages ago, apparently Skyrim, that was one where you get a little bit more performance. Depends on the game and how it interacts and how it's been programmed, man. Yeah.
Just talking about CPU cache, like
actual
L2,
CPU.
L3 cache?
Yeah. Depends on how it can have an impact on. It can have an impact on 1%, 0.1% frame rates. It just depends on the game.
Well,
and
are you disabling cache to test that? Is there a way to even do that?
So what you
because
do?
Usually they're going to make sure that they're not cache bound. Like if you have a CPU that's limited by the amount of cache it has in it, like limited on a performance level, then it's obviously not.
So the best way to test for that, is to get an i3 and keep the cores and threads enabled, then get an i7, disable the
Yeah,
cores
then
and
disable
threads.
the cores.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and again, that kind of stuff takes a long time, but there is a difference. There is a difference, and when I tested that in the past, there was a difference ages ago. So,
But see, like, doesn't that defeat the purpose though? Because if you buy a Core i3, you're going to be core bound at that point, not cache bound.
but
And then if you buy a Core i7, you're never going to use it as a 4-core chip or a 2-core hyper-threaded chip. Like, they give you the cache that makes sense for the workload of the CPU, and usually it scales with the cores. So if you have 2 megabytes of L3 cache per core, then you're going to have 4 for 2 cores, 8 for 4 cores. Like, that doesn't really make sense to me why it's
okay, so here's the thinking behind it. More cache is better. More cache is better. You want, like, everyone wants cache, right? The government's handing it out everywhere. You want it.
Oh, we're talking that cache.
No. We're talking that cache, but no, right? Well, with a Xeon, right? I do this example because some of these Xeons, they have a huge amount of level 3 cache on board, cache for the Aussies. And you want that. You honestly, the more the better, because when you're not utilizing all those cores and threads in games, you are still utilizing more level 3 cache in games. That's just how it is. So having more of it's better, and it can give you a smoother experience. We've also seen this in the past with that 5th gen Broadwell that had the level 4 cache, and that was giving out some extremely smooth frame rates.
5820K? Is that what you're talking about?
No. The 5700, or I forgot what it was now. The Broadwell i7 5770 or whatever that is. It's a rare CPU. It didn't really have long in the limelight because it came out so late because of node delays. And it just really was just it was a short time frame.
A Broadwell chip?
Yeah, dude, there was a Broadwell chip that came out like a while ago, and it didn't have long in the limelight before Skylake came out. But it was a really
I know, like the 5820K, 5960X, like all like that whole Broadwell.
But you could get an
not Broadwell.
Asus, but you could get an Asus motherboard for that chip, and you could utilize all that level 4 cache for gaming, and it was a pretty good experience. So we got super chat came in. Hey, I'm on top of this now. Hey Brian, I got a 5700. The chat's going so fast. Gonna flash it to be a 50. Yeah, it's gonna be flashed to be a 5700 XT, 1600 AF, and I'm going to use CL16 3200 megahertz RAM. And should I use precision boost? Nah, just manually overclocking the BIOS, dude. Because 1600 AF doesn't have good precision boost versus Zen 2. Like, it does have decent.
Oh, he's on the 1600 AF. Yeah, that's Zen Plus.
So I would overclock that thing to, like, I'd try and get it to 4.2 gigahertz with a Sith Mugen 5. So that'd be my advice. Just manually overclock it with the RAM.
Also, make sure you don't run auto voltage either. A lot of those boards are terrible about applying vCore, and you'll have a much hotter system if you just let the board toggle itself.
And so we got it was the i7 5775C. Yeah, the guys got it in the comments. Thanks, chat. We got here, Xeons will deliver better 1% performance than a 9900K. No, not necessarily. And the reason being is because every time you get a generational improvement, they improve the efficiency of the cache. So just because the V3 Xeons have more of it doesn't mean it's better. So basically the 9900K's got the best at the moment for Intel. And it's pretty, like, to be honest, it's pretty good stuff. Like, in the 10th gen will hopefully have better level 1, level 2, and level 3 cache performance than the 9900K, making it a better gaming CPU as well. That's hopeful. We got to test that stuff. But just because you got more of it doesn't necessarily mean it's better. So you got to look at
CPU?
So 9900K, say, versus a 1270 V3 or whatever. So just say Haswell cache versus 9900K cache. It's different.
But you're saying Intel to Intel, though.
Yeah, Intel to Intel is still going to have a difference, and the speeds are going to matter just as much as the size. So depending, you can think of it as GPU memory a little bit, not a direct comparison, but if you look at GPU VRAM, you can, if you have, say, for instance, a i3, and you turn the shadows to max, which stresses the CPU heavy, you're going to see, not only are you going to see the frame rates drop, you're going to see stuttering, and that's because the thing's getting overwhelmed. It's not the right CPU for the job. So that's an example right there. Okay, what's a good GPU to get for my i7 6700, 1660 Super, call it, or a GTX 1070, perfect combo. Any other collabs with other YouTubers in the future? Rocket Jump Ninja, he's my boy. He lives just up the road. You can expect a few more collabs with him. Greg. I got some, I'm hoping to also collab with the boys over in the US, like Aussie Talks Hardware and stuff like that. Because I really like them guys, man. They got their cool community going on, and they love the used price performance too. So like Nerd on a Budget, all those guys, man. Like
The tech fan guys.
Scattervolt,
Yeah.
yeah, just all those guys. Like I've met them before. They're chill as, man. They're really cool guys to
Yeah.
hang out
All
with
of them
too.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really want to hang out with those guys as well because, you know, they're not looking for clout as well. Like, they don't want to collab for clout. They just want to collab because they got the same passion. And I love that. So, and the X58 platform, quick question. I have an X5660 and a Asus P6 Workstation Pro. Should I use ECC memory with this combo or is that not possible? You got to check. You can definitely use ECC unbuffered. But I don't know about ECC buffered. That's the problem. ECC registered, essentially. I'm not sure about that. You'd have to check with the motherboard and the CPU. You have to check with the motherboard. So Zeus P6T on their website should have, if it can support it. Because I know the Xeons, they can, even the mainstream can support ECC. I know X79, X99 Xeons will support registered. Not sure about X58. I haven't checked that directly, so don't know. We got here, Super Chat, do you know of a good 1440p 144 hertz monitor for around 400 USD? Can you hit us, Greg?
Oh, there's plenty of them. I like to hit up my boys over at Pixio. They make really good budget panels. MSI makes pretty good panels as well. Or I should say they use decent panels. The VA stuff's going to ghost quite a bit, so be wary of that if you're playing a first-person shooter really fast-paced.
Don't get a VA. Don't get a VA, like, if you're
It's
competitive.
yeah. You can find actually pretty affordable IPS panels now. I would consider those if you care about color accuracy, and people are going to cringe when I say this, TN is straight up still the best for first-person shooters.
I ain't cringing.
They're so smooth. So smooth.
I ain't cringing at all, dude. TN's where it's at, man. If you're serious about gaming, dude, I got the 240 hertz TN Aorus. I just smashed the response times to max.
Oh, yeah, that thing's great.
Yeah, and like people are like, oh, Overshoot. Overshoot is, I'm going to talk about Overshoot a little bit. Overshoot is only a bad thing if you notice it. Just because there's these tests with UFOs on them and they show a little bit of, you know, white haloing, that's like, if you don't notice it, it's not a bad thing. I'll give you an example of a monitor that has the most worst overshoot I've ever seen in my life. And that is the Acer 28HBK 4K, 60 hertz. You whack up the response times on that and you will notice like black haloing. It's a terrible overshoot. But this here, like, I just turn it on max and the overshoot's amazing. Like, even though the numbers will say it's bad, it looks fine in practice. And so TN's still where it's at, in my opinion, for gaming. And IPS still, like, OLED's where it's at, obviously. OLED is, like, the best. But we're not seeing OLED coming out in gaming monitors. It's so frustrating because you want OLED. When's it coming out? Yeah, and, like, yeah, monitor OLED is like, when's that coming out? Like a 24-inch OLED 240 hertz. That would be like it for gaming.
How's ghosting on an OLED panel?
OLED's amazing, dude. It's like 0.5 millisecond response time. Dude, your camera
can't... as good as TN?
It's better, dude. Like, it's perfect. Like, I did this test at Computex on this Aorus monitor that was OLED. And it was like, you saw just on 1000 FPS camera, you could see the frame just transition perfectly. It was like, it was just beautiful. That's what it was.
The perks of individual pixel lighting. Yeah.
It was just beautiful. That's all I can say. So I was like, hit me with that OLED ASAP, please. But they're having problems with it. So TV with the best response time, I'd have no idea, guys. I don't game on a TV.
A lot of TV response times are overhyped anyway. Yeah. So make sure you're using game mode.
Oh, Gabriel's hitting some pretty cool questions here. He's like, would the 10th gen Intel CPUs have similar prices to 9th gen processors? Yeah, but you're going to get more. You're going to get free hyper-threading on the i3s because AMD's forcing them to do that. They got no choice. Yeah, good. But I watched your video on it's just boring to recommend a Ryzen CPU now. Whatever.
Oh, did you watch that?
I wanted to add to that. I think the reason you're probably thinking it's a little bit boring is because we haven't, like, when we look at it, we haven't really come that far in the last 10 years, right? That's why I've been going down the used rabbit hole, because GPUs are now starting to stagnate pretty badly. We're seeing that too. Everything's stagnating pretty badly. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, I'd say graphics cards more on I mean, Nvidia innovated with the Turing stuff, but I really like Pascal. Pascal was great. It was an awesome value, big performance gains. They kept efficiency up. And then you move on to this Turing stuff, and it's like, okay, but like, did you guys not see what you did last time? Can you not give us that again? You know, and instead of whatever the heck you're trying to play, realistic shadows and crap like that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like maybe it was a rough first generation of this stuff. Maybe the next gen will be better and cheaper. Hopefully it'll be cheaper. That's really the one thing I care about. But and then on the CPU side, like I was saying in the video, it's like, it's been 2-3 years now. Okay, AMD's been doing great. They finally kicked it into high gear. We're recommending almost exclusively AMD. So what the heck is going on? I had plenty of people say, well, where were you 8 years ago when it was just Intel and AMD wasn't? I didn't see a video about how you're getting tired of recommending Intel. But they're right in the sense that it was almost identical. What's going on now is similar to how it was with Haswell, and then really it was Sandy Bridge that came out around the same time as the 8300, right? I think, and then Ivy Bridge was 8350. I don't remember, but Pile Driver, Bulldozer. Kind of a blur.
The biggest difference there for me personally was the GPU market was picking up the slack. Like you had GTX 970 come out, bang, it was amazing. Then you had 10 series come out. You just had these like hit after hit. You were getting hit after hit, and it was amazing. So that was kind of like you had monitors. You had all these new monitors. Everything in the tech space was exciting. Bought CPUs. Now everything in the tech space is like you're beating a dead horse. Yeah,
because it's the same thing. Yeah, because both have stagnated now, not just one. I mean, even though CPUs flip flopped, and AMD's definitely, I would say AMD's leaps over the last 3 generations have been more substantial than those we've seen from Intel for the past 4 or 5 generations. If you want to count Coffee Lake as its own single, like the revisions of Coffee Lake are, in my opinion, just revisions. They're not even their own family.
We need new things. We need new things to get excited about, and that's what I mean. Like, if there was an OLED monitor coming out with 24-inch or 27-inch, I'd be getting super excited. But there's not. There's just nothing on the horizon that's like really exciting. So that's why I'm just going down U's rabbit hole, because it's fun. It's exciting. Zen 3, sorry, is going to be good, but it's still going to be the same thing. We're going to have these same GPUs. Like, hopefully RTX 3000 comes out sooner than later, and we can get excited again. Because, that's just me. Anyway, that's my thinking to add on top of that video. Like, it's a different scenario. AMD's on top, but everything else is kind of like dragged down now.
Yeah,
it's just getting boring.
I didn't even think about when I was writing that script to address the graphics card market. I was just thinking Ryzen, because it's always Ryzen. But I guess with the graphics card thing, I mean, I guess the difference between the CPU market and the GPU market right now is that with graphics cards, we might not have gotten like the same kind of value proposition from Turing that we got from Pascal. But at least now at this point, we have AMD kind of competing in the middle of the field, where if you look at what Vega 56 and Vega 64 and what else do we have from them? We didn't have anything else from. That was it in the mid-range stuff last generation. So it seems like AMD's got it together. They got the 5500 XT now. They got the 5600 XT now. 5700, which I don't even know why that exists anymore. 5700 XT now. Of course, they're still missing the high-end stuff, but at least we have more choices. To where if someone asks me, "Hey, what's a good 1440p 144 hertz gamer?" My mind's going to go to either the 2070 or the 5700 XT, maybe 2060 Super. Like, it's going to be in that range, but at least I can recommend something from both sides. Whereas if you ask me the same question about a CPU, I'm going to think Ryzen 5 3600, and that's really it, because that's the only value chip that makes sense for a vast majority of buyers.
Or in the world, 2600 off AliExpress, or
yeah. If you want to, I brought that up too. Yeah, that's an even better value in my opinion. It's just you're making compromises that some people might not be willing to make. Yeah.
So my sideburns are getting white. Yeah, man, I'm going gray. That's a weird thing. That happened in Japan. Like, it's so scary. Hear this out about the gray hairing of tech. Yes. This was happening in Japan when I was teaching at my second job. That was at the high school. And so I gave that job to my best friend. He followed suit. Now, I started that job. Before I started that job, hair was like not a gray hair on me. Then I started that job, and for some reason, I just went gray when I was in this area. It's funny because my best friend, Damien, he went over to that job and the exact same thing happened to him. He just started
Oh
going,
man, something's up,
dude,
dude.
the job was pretty easy. Like, it wasn't the job itself, but there was something in that area. Like, I put it
I
down
was
to,
gonna say,
I put it
yeah.
down to something in the green tea that we drunk at work because we both drank that tea. When I was transitioning over to letting him have the job, he was drinking the same green tea I was drinking, and there must have been something in that. It was just like maybe it makes you wiser, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll wear the wisdom strips now. These are the wisdom strips. So they've come in. They've come into
Gotta hope
play.
it's something that makes you wiser, not like
Yeah.
an accidental like spike in mercury content or something. Like
Yeah.
there's like a radiation spike in your area. You never know, dude. There's like that's happened in New York. Like there were families
Oh.
living over like toxic waste and they had no idea and they
Ah.
were having kids with birth defects and stuff. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on?
That's,
Dude, you just never know, man. You could be over some crazy,
oh,
stuff.
let's just yeah, let's move on. Yeah, pineapples on pizza. Oh, yeah, like
Ugh.
100% yes. Look, you said no. What? Explain. Have you tried pineapples on pizza?
Yeah, I've tried it. It tastes like garbage. It tastes like mixing Oreos with a ham sandwich. Like, who would do that? They're two totally different flavor profiles.
Bro,
Please tell me you've
you
never done that
gotta
before.
open your mind up, man. You gotta open your
I,
mind
I
up.
opened my mouth up and I did
Yeah.
not like what was it.
Oh man, dude, pineapple. Like, you have a supreme, right? Do you have pineapples on a supreme
On a Supreme what? What are you
pizza?
talking
Like
about?
supreme's like
Oh,
everything.
oh, we don't call it. No, I
What
don't
do you?
eat Supreme. I just eat.
Oh,
I'll eat pepperoni, Italian sausage, maybe ham, like meat lovers. I don't like mushrooms or bell peppers or any of that garbage on it. I like
okay.
straight simple pizza.
So Anonymous asks, heard there were some GPUs that didn't support legacy BIOS motherboards. Is there an easy way to identify these GPUs? Not really. There's no list out there. So the
Hmm.
easiest way is to look at the actual models of the cards themselves, like the models of the motherboards. I mean, so like generally, I find first gen Intel motherboards are fine with any graphics card, even the OEM stuff. It was when the second and third gen stuff came in, especially HP. They locked in secure boot. They didn't allow the option to unlock it, and they didn't give you an option to enable CSM. So generally, like there's a Lenovo board out there that's the second gen that won't support GTX cards 10 series or RX 580s from the get-go. But as soon as you go into the BIOS and disable secure boot, enable CSM, it then supports those graphics cards. They boot up fine. So that's the thing there. I'd say it's not so much the GPU, but it's more so the motherboard in question.
Hmm. I have to say something. Leslie says bell pepper and mushroom are good for your body. Greg's a picky eater. I didn't say I didn't like bell peppers and mushrooms. I just said I don't like them on pizza. It's the mixture of the different flavor profiles that I don't like. That's the thing. I like all these stuff separate any
Dude,
day,
I'm gonna
but
call
it's when you
you.
mix them in weird
Yeah,
ways,
just
dude.
gonna
Like
call.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
like.
call you an entitled pizza eater, bro. Like all
You
pizza's
know what?
good,
I'll
man.
own that. I'll
Yeah,
own it
entitled,
because
man.
I
That's
like my
yeah,
pizza one way
yeah.
and it works. I can eat pepperoni pizza in any style as long as it's just pepperoni pizza. It could be a deep dish, it could be a thin crust. I don't care.
Oh, bro, I'll eat a spinach pizza. I don't care, man. It's all
Oh,
good. Like,
see,
yeah.
I'd rather just have spinach. Like I could handle just spinach by itself, but I cannot eat it on a pizza. Like I'd rather have spinach in a cup and then like some bread and then like a mozzarella stick. I don't know. Like I'd just rather have them separate.
Okay, so we got
Call me weird.
but basically, dude, the whole idea behind pizza is that anything tastes good with melted cheese. You've got to learn to appreciate that. Do you ever have like the big? We get the 1 kilo cheese bags in Australia. I just sometimes grab the cheese out of the packet and eat it raw, man. It tastes so good.
Dude, I like raw cheese. I hate melted cheese. It tastes totally different when it melts. My whole family loves melted cheese. They'll put it on literally anything. They sound just like you did just
Oh,
now. But
cauliflower and cheese. Oh man, that's my lunch for
no.
today, bro. Yeah, you just give me the idea. What's the difference between a 1660 Ti and a 1660 Super? Not much. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we have a video on that. I think you do too,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. There's not much at all different. Now the whole chat's talking about pizza. It's probably my fault.
Oh, dude, pizza's amazing. Like, it's obviously right up there in favorite foods. Ribeye
What's
fillet
like
steak.
what's like a good like if you wanted just a cheap but good pizza, like large pizza. I don't know, like you guys use centimeters, but whatever. Like a decent sized large pizza. How much would you pay for that in Aussie dollars?
I mean, Domino's, 15 Aussie, about 15 bucks.
15.
So that's about $10
So
US for a supreme pizza from
10.
just a
Okay.
random place. Looking at about 10 bucks
Okay.
US. So
See, we can get them for about anywhere between like $6 and maybe $8 to $9, probably. So that's
oh,
between.
James says in the chat too, he's got a PowerShell script to automate the mods. That'd be great, man. Send me an email. I really would be keen on that because every time I do a budget build, especially if it doesn't have an SSD, I do all these quick tweaks and it makes such a difference. He is now the hero. Cheers, brother. I'm glad to hear that. Have you guys had dosa and sambar? What is that? Is that an American thing? What is sambar?
Never heard of it.
Okay, yeah.
Sam?
I don't know, man. You just sounds like something America would do.
I don't even know where that is. How do you spell it?
All right, so second Vegas 56 worth it? Yeah, Vega 56 can be worth it now. I think it's getting a bit of a boost over the 10 series because Nvidia kind of like slowing down optimizations for 10 series cards. Ryzen 5 3600 4.2 megahertz. Wow, that's really slow, bro. You could up that thing. So, all right, dudes, I will have to go soon. Sorry.
Same. It's like 10:30 over here.
You guys have been amazing this month for chat, everything for the support coming in as well, behind the scenes on the channel. This is weird times. Again, we're going to close this stream off talking about just how weird the situation is right now out there. I'm going to say if it doesn't get alleviated soon, then the Australian economy at least is going to take a big hammering. Like, we're already taking a hammering, but we're going to take a massive hammering if something doesn't happen soon. And the problem is you got this catch-22. You release the restrictions too early, things are going to go bang and get bad again. So I don't know, man. I look at Taiwan and I look at Sweden. I think they got the right models. That's all, in terms of what they're doing.
Didn't Taiwan like completely shut out tourism?
Dude, like I'm talking to this chick in Taiwan, dude. She's just like, yeah, it's all finished. Like we just go out normally now as long as we wear a mask and stuff. Like apparently there's like zero new confirmed cases.
Yeah. So well, I mean that's if you shut off your borders, if you close them entirely, you're just gonna have whoever's gonna get sick is gonna get sick.
Yeah.
You know, unless people are like locking themselves up in closets, and then that's it. Then it's gonna go away, right? Because you don't have any new introductions of the virus.
Yeah. So we also got Dadman. I talked to him the other day, and he reckons he beat it back in 2017. Like he already beat the virus back in 2017. He reckons he got it on a boat cruise, and he already beat it. And I was like, legit. And he was telling me how he's already beat it.
Well, let's see if he gets it.
Yeah.
He actually, that's how you'll know if you've built an immunity or not.
Yeah, that's it. Dad
probably don't want to try that.
Yeah, Dadman already beat it back in 2017.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, he's on that, man. He's on that. Eh? So I'm still damning after all these years. Gaming. I think he means admin. Yeah, Octoman PC. Yeah, bro. Welcome back. He was a cool admin. If you're a cool admin, hey man, leopards don't change their spots, Octoman PC. You're a good guy then. I'm guessing you're still a good guy now. So thanks for sticking around. Anyway, so all right, guys, we are going to tune on out of here. Make sure you stay safe. Make sure you stay positive as well. Whatever the situation is going on in your personal lives, just you got to stay positive. That's the only thing you can do. Make sure your health is really good. Keep your health up. Eat well if you can. Like, there's the main two things. Eat well, make sure your health's up, and you're good to go. I found out a cool thing the other day before we get off stream. You want to absorb the most vitamin D from the sun, you have to absorb it in your chest and your back. Your arms and your legs, because you have thicker skin on that, you're not going to absorb as much vitamin D. So, yeah, it's basically the all okay to go out on your balcony and, sunbake with a little less exposure on you. So...
Which vitamin is good for the immune system? Is it C?
C's good, yeah. Vitamin D is good, dude. Like, there's a lot of zinc, magnesium. It's all good, man. It's all important. You need to get a balanced diet and stuff like that. So stay healthy, get some sun into your body if you can, on your chest and your back. And yeah, brothers, we will catch you, and sisters as well. We got some lovely ladies out there in the audience who support support the tech. Yes, and thank you guys so much for the support. Thanks for Greg for coming on this live stream. And we will just quickly shill the brought to you by Corsair.
Brought to you by Corsair.
That's it. Virtuoso. Virtuoso.
Yeah. You got it linked in the description? You got to link these headsets.
Not yet. So anyway, we're going to go out. God bless. Yep. God bless y'all. And we'll catch you. Misha, say thank you for watching the live stream. Now, we're going to take this live stream away, Greg. Last time you failed so hard with the outro. This time...
Oh, no, I can't. No, no.
Come on, dude.
No. No, I can't.
Do you want me to do the American way then? I'll go American
Please,
first. I'll give you a warm-up.
Yours is like North American, like Canadian. It's good, though. It's good.
Okay, so I'll give you a little taste then, all right? So I went over the other day. I was on like a Craigslist, and yeah, there was this dude. He was just selling like this RTX 2070 and like i5 in it. I just called him out. I said, "Does this thing have an i5 in it, bro?" And he was like, "Yeah, dude." I was like, "Cool, dude. How much do you want for this thing?" He's like, $1,000. I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'll take it, man." So I go over there, and he's like, "Yo, this thing's got i5 750." And I was like, "Yeah, it sounds cool, man. I'll take that thing." I get home, dude. I start playing the games, and it's like stuttering and stuff. This thing is just like, whoa, this thing's not working properly. And then I called him up, and he just blocks my number, bro. So I got hosed. All right, now you gotta give us a story now. Come on, you gotta give us something.
Dude, there's no, I can't. My Australian accent is way worse than whatever the heck you just showed me.
Oh, come on, that's on point,
That's
bro.
believable.
Yeah, that's what I mean. See, so you just gave me some props, bro. Cheers, man. Cheers.
Oh, it's good. No, that's why I don't want to go, because we need to end on that note. Mine's gonna be way worse than that.
You gotta try, dude. Even if it's a fail, the audience don't care. We laugh. We love it. Give us the accent and a story combined. We need the two.
I don't have an Australian accent.
Yeah, mate. Like, I love it when mate.
Good eye, mate.
There we go. Continue on. So, all right. So you went on Gumtree the other day. Come on, give us something.
Good eye, mate. I went on Gumtree. Good old Gumtree.
Yeah. And what did you find there?
The other day, I was looking for Core i3. Couldn't find myself Core i3, so I ended up buying a Core i5, and
Tell us about
I got hosed on that.
Dell Optiplex.
Oh.
Yeah, just go for Dell Optiplex.
You
just do a video on. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to get to that.
Okay.
Yep. I got the Core i5 in my Dell Optiplex, and hey, what do you know? A wallaby comes up, steals it, straight up, picks it up, walks away with it. I didn't even know. Okay.
We did. That was going good. That started off well, man. We did a bit of storytelling. So, it's like, you got to talk. Like, in America, you got those big dangerous snakes, yeah. Like this guy, man, he sold me the PC, and there was like this pit viper there, dude. Like I am not kidding you. There was like this pit viper, bro, on the PC, and I'm just like, whoa, man. Maybe I picked a bad time. And he's like, no, dude, come and join. This thing's friendly, dude. Like, we're all good. And I'm like, oh, okay, man. I should be careful here.
Oh, good.
Like, yeah. And so I went in, and dude, like, no crap. The snake literally wanted to bite me there and then. I'm like, no, dude. You know what? I just went to Starbucks after that, got myself a cafe latte, and I was just heading home, dude. That was it. So I was just on my way home, bro. That was all there was
Pit
to
Viper.
it. Yeah, Pit Viper, bro. Legit. Pit Viper. All right. We're gonna end this off. All right, we're gonna end this live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next Tech Something. And if you guys have any questions at all, make sure you drop a comment after this video. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much. Do you want to do the peace out for now? Bye.
Peace out for now. Bye.